Well, the announcement today is all about headlines. It's not about public health. The Prime Minister has said that he's going to be driven by the data, not by dates. He doesn't have the data yet. He won't have the data until later this week. So he's not in a position to take a decision until next Monday. So you have to wonder what today's announcement is all about. And I think it's about party management rather than the public interest. We all want the restrictions to be lifted. And we are going to have to find a way of living with the virus. But that can't just be a soundbite. We need a proper plan. And to throw off all protections at the same time when the infection rate is still going up is reckless. We need a balanced approach. We need to keep key protections in place, including masks, including ventilation, and crucially, something we've been asking for throughout the pandemic, proper payments to those that need to self-isolate.
So which legal restrictions do you want to keep after the 19th of July?
Lifting all protections in one go when the infection rate is going up is reckless. A balanced approach, a proper plan would say keep key protections. One of them would be masks in enclosed places and on public transport. That's a common sense position. More ventilation, that's happening in other countries, is absolutely essential. And proper payments for those that need to self-isolate. That is what a balanced approach would take. But simply throwing off all protections when the infection rate is going up, it is reckless.
So unions are saying that to lift the compulsory mask wearing would be an act of gross negligence. Do you agree with that? You would keep legal restrictions on wearing masks?
I think common sense has to play a part here. The public know the infection rate is going up. And they're bound to pinch themselves and say, why on earth then are you throwing off all protections at the same time? Of course we want to open up. Of course we want to end these restrictions. We want our businesses to be up fully running. We all want that. But to throw off all protections at the same time is reckless.
The Prime Minister says, if not now, when? That it is better to do it now than in the autumn, in the winter, when, as he says, the virus has an edge. Why isn't he right on that?
Well, he says, if not now, then when? He hasn't seen the data yet. He's not getting the data until the end of the week. If you can believe it, he's making this announcement now. He hasn't got the data. He's describing what he wants to happen, not what he can say is going to happen, because he hasn't seen the data. That is no way to make a decision as important as this. And common sense dictates that you take a balanced approach here and don't throw off all protections at the same time.
If you don't, last one, but if you don't mind me just saying, you're saying he hasn't seen the data and therefore can't make this decision, but then neither of you, but you're saying it's still too early to lift all these restrictions. So what would you need to see in the data to lift all the restrictions?
Well, we all need to see the data. But nobody is predicting that the data is going to say other than the infection rate is going to continue to go up. The Prime Minister's as good as admitted that. We'll have to see by how much. But the idea that as the infection rate goes up, you throw off all protections at the same time, I'm afraid is reckless.
So what would Labour need to see to get to the point of removing all restrictions?
We need to see the data, and then we need a plan to live with the virus. I think a sensible plan would say keep masks in enclosed places and on public transport, at least until we're past the peak and the numbers are coming down. That would be a common sense position. Put more into ventilation of buildings and fix the problem that's been there throughout, which is to make proper payments to those that need to self-isolate.